Hello and welcome to another episode of me playing graded piano pieces from the ABRSM syllabus 2025 to 2026. Today I'm looking at the grade 3 B3 piece, Always With Me. It's a very straightforward piece to learn and I'm going to play it for you now and do the usual thing again of breaking it down afterwards and giving you some hints and tips on how to go about learning it. So I'm just checking the tempo. Now in the book it says 126 BPM, which is that speed, although in the footnotes of the book it does say students may prefer to play it slower at 112 for example. But I'm going to play it at the tempo that's written in the book so you can hear it at that speed. Okay, here we go. So the first thing I would be looking at now is trying to get the right hand part really secure because there's occasional finger numbers written in during the phrase which are useful to pay attention to. So I'm starting with just the right hand part. It's nice and soft, it's very smooth, and we've got the word dolce written there, which means sweetly. So we're going to keep that nice and gentle. And suddenly we have in bar 2, at the end of bar 2, that third finger written in on the G. So that third finger helps you then get to the next bar, 2 on F, and then bring the 5 onto the A. This is bar 3 now we're talking about. So I'll go from the start. Here's the 3 on the G, 5 on the A, and then we carry on. In bar 4 we're going to swap fingers now. The 2 is on the E at the moment. We're switching it to a 3 for the start of the next phrase. So this is the last note of bar 4, played with the third finger. Then the 2 on the F as suggested. So by the time we reach bar 7, our little finger is on B flat and it's about to change to a 4. So I'm really trying to draw your attention today on the fingering numbers that are written in the phrases. I would be really inclined to do exactly what's written there because it will really help you then get through that section. As we carry on, just before bar 9 we've got the pickup of the F and the G at the end of bar 8, which of course is the same as the beginning. So we're starting on the thumb at the end of bar 8 on the F. And here we go again, that third finger on the G. Just putting that there. 2 on the D now as suggested. Carrying on. And then the 2 on the F in bar 14. Very important. And again a switch to the 4 on B flat in bar 15. That very last note, the F, they've suggested a 2. So you'd kind of go, you'd be doing 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. But actually, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, I don't really see that as too problematic. Sometimes it's recommended to play different fingers on repetitive notes if they're the same note, but you don't have to get too worried about that, I don't think. So the next thing we need to do is to look at the left-hand part at the beginning. Keep in mind the treble clef is written there, so the left-hand part does not start on A down there. It's going to start on the F above middle C because we're reading treble clef. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and immediately then in bar 3 the thumb going under to the D. And we carry on, so the next bar 4 we're playing middle C of the 2. B flat is bar 5, which is the third finger, then the A next door with the 4, and then finally on bar 7, the 5 is on the G. And then crossing over to E with the 2 in bar 8. So those occasional finger numbers, again, are very useful for the left-hand part. This is one of these pieces where you really need to practice the separate parts on their own a few times. Certainly the first 8 bars, right hand only and left hand only, that would be very wise. So I'm going to practice the left hand again from the start. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, thumb under to D, C, A, C, B flat, A, everything is within reach here, G is the 5, D, and crossing over to E. And then I'm recapping from bar 9. The thumb is back on the F, the 2 on E, thumb under to D, and then exactly the same thing as earlier. I'm reaching bar 15, I'm on the G with the 5. Then they've suggested a thumb on C, which slightly squishes the position and pushes your left hand hopefully to hit the F with the 5 on bar 16. So that's a neat little trick there, just putting the thumb on middle C in bar 15 there. So that's what you will need to do. Practice the left hand a few times on its own to make sure you're comfortable with that. When you start playing hands together, be careful that the left hand part isn't louder than the right hand, because if you have this sound, the left hand's too loud really, the right hand melody is getting overshadowed. So I would be thinking of playing the right hand, you know, P/MP, you know, soft/medium soft, and the left hand actually as very soft. So you get that nice sense of the melody singing out. Let me do it the other way again to demonstrate how not to do it. Because this part of the piano is in the middle, the left-hand part's playing an area which is kind of a stronger area. The higher up we go the keyboard, the lighter and more delicate the notes kind of become. So just be aware of that. So we can now turn our attention to bar 18 because we have a totally different section here. I'm just going to play a few bars of it. So what we're doing in the left hand here, we're playing slurs, we're playing those curved lines, not to be confused with ties, because these are different notes, F to A, and I'm trying to make the second note nice and light. So I'm kind of coming off on my thumb, and then the same with bar 19, just that sort of sound. That's the kind of sound you want. If you play this, it's very choppy and doesn't really sound very gentle, and you've got to be careful that the thumb in those bars doesn't linger too long, because there's a crotchet rest at the end of each of these bars. Bar 18, bar 19, bar 20 and so on. We have these rests, so don't go, that would be wrong. It's going to be da-dum, da-dum, so be aware of that. In bar 20 they suggest putting a 3 on the D, although I'm using a 4. 4-2 fingering on bar 20 is absolutely fine as well. Okay, so I'm going to play it from the top of that bit, bar 18. Similar principle all the way through this section. So left hand nice and light, da-dum, that sort of sound, da-dum. So all we need to do now is just consider how we're going to end the piece. I'm going to go from bar 26 and play it through to the end, and I want you to hear how I slow things down just a little bit as I get to the very final bit to help it sound like an ending. It doesn't tell you to slow down there, but it just sounds musical to kind of stretch the timing a bit. And in fact, in bar 31 we've got to be careful because we have the G of bar 32 is a dotted crotchet. So don't play it as, don't come off. you've got that sound in the right hand holding. So I'm going to play it from bar 26, here we go. And that last chord is just a pause. The proper word for that sign is a fermata, but it's a pause, so it's just holding the sound for a slightly longer length than you might think. So that's basically it. I hope the practice sessions that you're going to do on this go well, and good luck. And if you want to see some of the other videos I've made, I will hopefully see you on some of them. Take care for now then. Bye.